and justice for all. All right, tonight we remain standing for a moment of silence for John Kirasitz, a teacher from 1957 through 1990, who passed away on September 8th, 2010. Thank you very much. All right, move on to 4.0 presentations. 4.1, we've got an audit presentation from Carl Widmer and Charles Trotter from Drescher and Malecki, LLC.
All set to go, Mike?
All set, Carl.
All right, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Carl Widmer. I'm a partner at Drescher and Malecki, and we are hired to do the district's external audit on their financial statements. So here tonight, a little bit different forum than in past years where I get to actually see you in person, but nevertheless, here tonight to present on the results of our audit on the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2020. So we put together this short presentation, really trying to condense, a 65 page financial statement into a quick board presentation. We were able to meet with members of the audit committee earlier this evening and went over the audit in more detail. So I believe if there was any extra questions that they would have had the opportunity to ask them. But we'll run through the presentation tonight and open it up at the last slide if anybody has any questions. On the first slide coming up, Sandy, are you able to tab it? Thank you.
Yep.
First up are the products of our audit. And these are the items that you can expect from us each year at the end of the audit. Quickly, a little aside of why we're hired. We're hired by the district to provide an independent opinion on the financial statements of the district. Annually, district's management will compile these financial statements and maintain accounting records throughout the year, and ultimately put together a financial statement. And we are hired to come in and gather audit evidence to arrive at whether or not we believe the financial statements can be relied upon by outside users. So whether it be taxpayers, grantors, banks, anybody who wants that outside third-party verification that the district's financial statements can be relied upon, that's really why we're here. That's what our opinion achieves. And this year, as in prior years, pending the board's final approval, we're in a position to issue what's called a clean opinion, unmodified. So that's what you should strive for. There were no issues throughout the course of the audit. So the first piece are the basic financial statements. This is what everyone looks for. All the funds of the district, including your general fund, the balances at June 30th, 2020, and the revenue expenditure activity for the 12 months there ended. Those are the financial statements that we provide an opinion on. At the back of that financial statement report, there's also a compliance audit over the federal awards that the district administers. Nearly $3 million of federal programs run through the district each year. And we act as an extension of the federal government in performing a compliance audit on those awards to see that they were handled properly. Our opinion on that compliance audit is also clean. Next are a couple letters, the first being the management letter. And really that's just an opportunity for us to share some best practices or observations that we may have after going through and looking at the district's financial transactions, the different internal control structures and such. The auditor communication slide, this is a letter that essentially it reiterates what the responsibilities of the two parties in this engagement, being the district and management and Drescher and Malecki as the auditors, what each of our responsibilities were to uphold to have a successful financial statement audit. So this letter will put that together. I was able to communicate, some of the more details that are included in that letter during the audit committee meeting earlier tonight. Finally, there's a separate small financial statement on the cash basis of accounting for the district's extra classroom activities. This is a small audit that we conduct, and it's in accordance with New York State Education Department. As far as the different clubs and activities that are run at the district, we do perform a series of tests over those balances and provide a separate financial statement. So moving on, the first slide here is going to move into the financial highlights of the year. Again, I mentioned that condensing a financial statement into a small board presentation is difficult, but here we tried to focus in on what most people are concerned with, and that's the general fund operations. The general fund represents the lion's share of the activity at the district, so that's what we include. Here tonight is a line graph showing your total money coming in, your revenues and transfers in, compared to your spending, the expenditures and transfers out. So the blue line represents your revenues, red line represents your spending. As you can see, the most recent year, 1920, you do have the revenues coming in over the expenditures. And what that means is the fund balance in the general fund increased as a result of the year's operations. There was more money brought in than money gone out. Of course, this is closely tied to what we experienced related to the COVID pandemic. There were a little over 3 months in the fiscal year where the shutdown was going on, and the district was fortunate on the financial side to experience some savings in big areas such as transportation, saving quite a bit of money since it wasn't being operated. And it afforded the opportunity for the district to report an operating surplus for the year. Whereas your total revenues here came in about 103 million and your expenditures came in just about 98. And that ended up with a surplus of $5 million. So total fund balance in the general fund increased $5 million as a result of the year. Now on the next slide, we'll show you that in your fund balance amounts. So your fund balance, if you think about it, this could be what the equity position is. How much are you ahead of the game? You have more assets than liabilities by this dollar amount. So looking at the 2018-19 column, the number at the top of each of these bars is the total fund balance amount. And then the two different portions, the red and the blue, represent classifications of fund balance that go into the financial statements based on how restricted the spending is on that money. So what we did is split it up into the unassigned portion. That's the amount that's available. For 2019-20 is 10.2 million. And then all the other fund balance, remaining fund balance, represents restricted and assigned fund balances, which total a little over $33 million. Now, when you look compared to last year, up top there, you have a little over 38 million was the fund balance at the end of last year's fiscal. At the end of this year, you ended up at 43.4 million. So that is that gross $5 million profit or surplus for the fiscal year. There you see it going up $5 million. And as you can see, the red portion was pretty comparable to the prior year. What happened is district's management elected to take the operating surplus amounts from the fiscal year and put them all in the unassigned fund balance category. And essentially this was in efforts to be transparent for the savings that happened during the 1920 fiscal year are going into this one account. We weren't really prepared to put those amounts into reserves or restrictions based on the uncertainty that's come along with the COVID pandemic. Future revenues are definitely in question, whether it be state aid or sales tax portions, what grants may be available. So in efforts to be fiscally responsible, they put it all in the unassigned category and said, we're going to leave it here because we're not sure what the 2020-21 fiscal year is going to look like, and then also subsequent years as well. So total fund balance increased 5 million and ended up at 43.4 million. This 10.2 million is going to result in a compliance finding in the financial statement report. The district is subject, similar to all other New York State districts, is subject to real property tax law, and there's a 4% calculation that they perform, and it takes a look at how much of that unassigned fund balance is it in proportion to an entire year's budget. So the general fund budget for the 2021 year is at just about $115 million. This 10.2 million represents 8.9%. And this calculation says that 4% is a level that you shouldn't exceed. So there'll be a finding in there, but the district is well aware of this. Like I said, it was a transparent move, and they provided their official response will be right accompanied with the finding in the back of the statements. So outside of that, on the final slide, it really just says observations and includes some contact information, but I do want to communicate that there were no reportable findings for the audit. We haven't had an issue at the district in recent years that I can remember. That's not to be discounted though. The business office and everybody handling all the areas that go into compiling a financial statement, they're sound. There's tight internal controls handling the money at the district, and we're able to come in and perform an audit and have no reportable findings at the end of it. So it's certainly something to commend the district on. The single audit portion that I alluded to earlier on the federal compliance, that also was performed without any reportable findings, so no issues there. And the way it stands right now is the draft financial statements and total package was presented to the audit committee, and we are in position to issue final reporting package contents upon approval of the board. So if there are any questions, I know it was quick, but if there is anything that I could help by addressing tonight, I am here for questions. If not, thank you for the opportunity to work for the district and for your time tonight.
If the board doesn't have any questions, then Mr. Sage, we're ready to roll.
I apologize, I was muted there. All right, this is an action item. Kevin, as chairperson of the committee, do you have a recommendation?
Yeah, I would like to recommend to the board that we move forward with Drescher and Malecki to get the final draft report. After seeing what we saw tonight in the audit committee, everything looks tight, and want to commend Jamie and the administrative team for doing another outstanding job and making sure, even in the light of COVID, that they made sure that we had a full and comprehensive review by Drescher and Malecki.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Do I have a motion to approve the audit findings?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? All right, motion carries. On to 4.2, we have a school board recognition.
Good evening, everyone. This is Jacqueline Ball, principal of William Street School, and on behalf of Como Park, Court Street, Hillview, John A. Sholey, William Street, Lancaster Middle School, Lancaster High School, we would like to say thank you. There are no words to express the gratitude that we feel for each of you, our Board of Education. Tonight, virtually, we say thank you to Mr. Sage, Mr. Jackson, Mrs. Cohen, Mr. Davenport, Mrs. Fetcher, Mr. Tellerico, and Mr. Uteg. In these uncertain times, we are reminded of one certainty, that you are committed and you continually support us in the Lancaster community. So without further ado, and actually before we give you our thank you, a special note of recognition to Lancaster Middle School math teacher, Rita Gregory, for her assistance in putting this all together. So this is for you virtually on behalf of all of us. So thank you.
Thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you for keeping our schools clean. Thank you for helping us stay healthy. Thank you for all you do.
Hello, Board of Education. It's your favorite virtual teacher, Thelma the Unicorn, and Hillview has a message for you.
Thank you for you do so much for us. We are so grateful for your support and dedication. Hillview loves you. Thank you.
Rahmat, thank you.
We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you. You're the best. You're the best. Thank you. We appreciate you. You're the best. You're the best. Thank you. You're the best. You're the best. Thank you. Thank you.
Start Education, Francesca here. Just wanted to come on here and say thank you so much for everything that you've done for every student in Lancaster, especially during these times of uncertainty. You've really stepped up and made this time the best it can be. So thank you.
Thank you for all you do for us students here at LMS. You're off to an amazing start, and we really appreciate all you do.
Thank you for everything you do for us students at LMS. We're really happy to be back to school this year, and we know we're going to have a great year. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you for everything that you've done for the school, and thank you for working so hard to get us back to school. We really do appreciate it, and thank you so much.
Hi, my name's Michaela. I just wanted to say thank you so much for all that you do. Everyone truly appreciates it and acknowledges it so much. Thank you.
Education from Lancaster Girls Soccer. Thank you, Lancaster, for letting us sing again.
Thank you for our amazing academies.
Thank you, Board of Education. Thank you. Thank you, Board of Ed, from your student union officers.
We appreciate everything that you have done for us at the beginning of this school year, and we appreciate everything that you've done in the past for us.
Thank you for always supporting us with being able to create programs.
Thank you, Board of Ed, for everything you do to make this place so special.
Thank you for all the wonderful people we work with and the students that come to this beautiful place every day.
Board of Education, we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much, Mrs. Bull. That was an amazing presentation. I miss having the kids in person, but that was a close second. I think it's going to be difficult to follow the rest of the meeting with that, but thank you again. All right, so we are going to move on to 4.3, tenure presentations. I know we have quite a few of these, so we have a lot of amazing people being recognized today. So I will turn it over to Karen, Andy, and Sandy to present those.
I'll go first. I have 4. The first one is Mrs. Gibson, and Mrs. Gibson brings excitement and vitality to her classroom every day. While she builds strong relationships with her students, she's also active in using data to drive her instruction. Mrs. Gibson is reflective of her teaching and encourages her students to practice self-reflection as well, along with self-advocacy skills. She also teaches her students mindfulness techniques to help them be more resilient to the stressors that come with life. Mrs. Gibson also collaborates with our special education department to better meet the needs of her students. And she's an asset to the elementary team, and we're glad that she's part of the Lancaster family. Congratulations. My next is Mrs. Rosinski. She is a talented educator and dedicated to her job as a reading specialist. She works to create interventions to assist her struggling readers and works collaboratively with her department to meet the needs of all of her students. She's always willing to step up and help her colleagues who are new to the school or who need assistance in some way. And in addition to being an exemplary teacher, she has a standing position on the RTI committee. She's a member of the Character Education Committee. Mrs. Brzezinski is a leader at William Street, and last year was scheduled to present at the legendary Day of Learning. We're excited about her accomplishments and her dedication to Lancaster students. Next is Dr. Sturm. He's known for creating lessons and a classroom environment that encourage positive risk-taking, meaningful discussion, and peer feedback based on facts and supporting details. He brings excitement to his lessons and is a member of the Social Studies Committee. He's been seen playing his instruments during concerts and for the talent show and participates in Good Citizens Week. He can be found on the basketball court during Rebound for Research as well. Dr. Sturm recently completed his doctorate and his studies were around how gaming impacts education. His research found that simulation-type games can increase both civic and economic understanding within the social studies curriculum. He weaves his research and understanding into his planning to create lessons that are exciting and beneficial to our students. And lastly, for the elementary staff, we have Mrs. Zip. She is a true professional. She utilizes multiple data sets to determine the appropriateness of math AIS instruction and to develop lessons to best meet the needs of her struggling math students. In addition to being an excellent teacher, Mrs. Zip has provided cohort data to both teachers and administrators to track our progress at William Street. She does this in a highly accessible manner and is respected by her colleagues. Mrs. Zip is a lifelong learner and takes advantage of professional development. She also sits on the math committee, the RTI committee, and attends bridge meetings with the middle school. She also has given back to the district by presenting at the legendary Day of Learning. Mrs. Zip's strength and intellect and her emotional connection to her students make her a model teacher. Congratulations to the four of you.
Okay, I guess I'm going to go next. Good evening, everyone. Tonight we have the opportunity to recognize some fabulous educators who are being recognized for earning their tenure in their respective disciplines. This is a tremendous honor for all, and I would like to take the opportunity to personally congratulate all of the tenure recipients on their accomplishment this evening. Tonight I have four individuals in the secondary world that will be earning their tenure. First is Donna Ball. Ms. Ball is a remarkable young teacher who has been working in our middle school and high school social studies departments for the past 4 years. She shares her passion and enthusiasm for history with the students of the Lancaster community and is a tremendous asset to the social studies program and the community as a whole. As I've gotten to know Ms. Ball, she demonstrates incredible qualities that make her a phenomenal educator. She's a team player and a leader that puts students as a primary focus. She challenges students through breakout boxes, historical simulations, and other hands-on activities to engage her students in whatever content she is teaching on that day. Mrs. Ball is extremely innovative, and the students in her classroom are always busy. In fact, I can recall one of her lessons and where I observed her, where students were digging for artifacts of ancient civilizations in the Global 1 class. A cleaner probably would have been helpful to have been called into the room to help pick up the shredded paper all over the floor. But regardless of the mess, every student in that class was engaged and they accomplished the learning targets for that particular lesson. Thank you, Mrs. Ball, for all of you do for the students of Lancaster. Next is Mrs. Cindy Gould. Mrs. Gould is a charismatic individual who has been working in the high school business department for the past 4 years. She shares her passion and enthusiasm for career and financial planning, along with business education with the students of the Lancaster community. Very similar to Mrs. Ball, she's a tremendous asset to the community as a whole and to the LHS business department. As I've gotten to know Mrs. Gould, I can see that she has a passion for her students. She truly cares about each student that steps into her classroom on a daily basis. Even students who no longer have her as a teacher will stop by and say hello and extend some warm wishes. Mrs. Gould believes in the power of relationship building and exercises that with her students on a consistent basis. In addition to those relationship skills, she works very hard to find ways to engage students with real-life experiences and scenarios to bring business concepts to life. Thinking of a story of observing one of Mrs. Gould's classes, I've seen her provide different real-life scenarios for students where they have to work independently or in some cases collaboratively to come up with solutions to real-life problems that exist in the business world. She challenges her students to apply that information learned to those experiences and demonstrate their knowledge and understanding of very difficult concepts. Mrs. Gould, thank you for all you do for the students of Lancaster. Next is Mr. Aaron Kern. Mr. Kern is an extremely talented business teacher who has been working with our Career Development and Occupational Studies, or CDOS students, for the past 4 years. He has a passion and enthusiasm for business and provides hands-on learning experience for students in the Lancaster community. Like our previous recipients, he is also a tremendous asset to the community as a whole and to our CDOS credential program. If you were to ask me to describe Mr. Kern, the term student-centered would be the first thing that would come to the conversation. He has an extremely extensive knowledge base and works extremely hard to share his knowledge and experiences with the students. In recalling one of the classroom observations that I did with Mr. Kern, he was showing his students how to keep an accurate balance in a ledger, something that I also know many adults would benefit from a class on. Students had to make deposits and withdrawals and keep an accurate ledger throughout the activity. Mr. Kern, also knowing that he was working with students of varying skill levels, had put students together in groups and scaffolded the assignment by each individual group to meet the needs of the level of the students who were in that particular group. He differentiates his instruction. He differentiated that particular activity so that students would be able to complete the activity based on where they were in their understanding of the content. It was an outstanding lesson. And again, all students had met their learning targets. Mr. Kern, thank you for all that you do for our students. Last and most certainly not least, Mr. Dan Vogel. Mr. Vogel is an enthusiastic teacher who's been working with our students in the PE department over the course of the past 4 years. He has a passion and enthusiasm for teaching students and stressing the importance of being physically fit to his students on a consistent basis. Like all of our previous recipients, another great asset to the community as a whole, along with our PE program. In getting to know Mr. Vogel and to see him in the classroom, he consistently demonstrates incredible qualities that make him a phenomenal educator. Team player who puts students as his primary focus. In one of my observations of Mr. Vogel, he was teaching a soccer unit. And before the students even started playing a game, Mr. Vogel took the time to do practice drills to learn the fundamental skills, passing, shooting, how to communicate effectively with your teammates to move the ball towards the other team's goal. He emphasized the use of teamwork and spent time in the lesson describing and modeling how it works while in a game type situation. While the game was being played, the students were able to use the drills and replicate what Mr. Vogel modeled to move the ball towards the other team's goal. The lesson was very well scaffolded and the students made the learning target. Mr. Vogel, again, thank you for all that you do for our students. Just real quick to close remarks about all of our tenure recipients this evening. All of you are team players who are constantly looking to challenge and enhance your craft in the classroom. You constantly look for ways to challenge yourselves and expand your skill sets for the betterment of our students and your colleagues. You've all consistently attended in-house and external professional development opportunities to network with other teachers and to strengthen your skill sets to meet the needs of your students. Our mantra in Lancaster is very simple. Always hire the best. And I will say for all of the candidates here, it's a great example of that. They're not just great teachers, but they're also great people. Congratulations on your accomplishment. Keep up the solid work.
Well, I get to jump in now with the class of 2021 for the special ed department. And I am thrilled to present 7 professionals to that department. I'm blessed to have them part of our team. They are fantastic. Jessica Becker. Jessica Becker is a teacher at William Street. She has taught in the self-contained classroom and now in the integrated program. Passion is Jessica's middle name. She has a commitment to her students. She strongly advocates for her students and is always willing to go that extra mile to help them. She is creative and definitely thinks outside the box to help motivate and teach her students. Congratulations, Jessica. Our next person, Michelle Pachinski. Michelle is a social worker who works at Court Street and at William Street. She's a DASA coordinator. She works tirelessly to provide support for our students and their families. She builds relationships with everyone she encounters. Children adore her. Families trust her. Teachers rely on her to provide social and emotional support for her students. Mrs. Pachinski communicates effectively and regularly with administration and the SRO about individual student cases. She makes it look effortless, as Ms. Pachinski always has a smile on her face and is proactive as she engages with her students in a comfortable, easygoing manner. In the words from Mrs. Kleinert, she's a gem. Congratulations, Michelle. Our next candidate is Victoria Zine. Victoria is a special education teacher at the middle school. Victoria has earned the respect of her colleagues and all her approaches to students. In addition to her role as a consultant teacher, Mrs. Zine helped run and design a summer program for our students in the life skills strand. The work-based learning opportunities and community awareness did not stop because of COVID. As a matter of fact, I even went on a virtual field trip this summer on an alligator farm. Talk about creativity, that's taking it outside the box. Nice job, Victoria. She has enthusiasm for her students that allow her to go above and beyond for all of her students. Again, nice job. Congratulations, Victoria. Amy Wojcik. Amy Wojcik is also a social worker at Hillview and William Street. She is also a DASA coordinator and on the district's mental health committee. She supports students and their families with numerous resources and emotional supports. Amy is a kind and diligent person. She always puts the needs of her students first and advocates best for them whenever possible. The words enthusiasm and passion are understatements of Ms. Wojcik. Congratulations, Amy. Anna Holtz. Anna, I know you're there with your daughter. Congratulations. Anna is a special education teacher at Sholey. Anna is a skilled reading teacher who has a passion and drive to work with our students. Ms. Holtz has assimilated herself into the Sholey family. She works collaboratively with her colleagues and struggling students. Ms. Holtz works tirelessly with her students to lay the foundation for reading at the primary level. Nice job, Anna. And now, Julie St. John. Julie St. John is a solid clinician with excellent communication skills. Ms. St. John works intently with our students and helps them realize their potential. I'm always impressed with her flexibility, passion, and especially Ms. St. John's easy way of working with kids. She knows her kids well, and she discusses her kids beautifully with me. She has a truly love for her students, and she really wants them to be successful. Nice job, Julie. Congratulations. And last but certainly not least is Amy Rivera. Amy is a self-contained teacher at Sholey. And of course, I visit Amy quite often because that's always my first love, is the self-contained world. So Amy is a strong special education teacher with excellent behavior management skills. Amy is a calm demeanor and a role model for herself and for her colleagues. I have personally observed Ms. Rivera's interactions with her students, and I marvel at her positivity and her compassion for her students. She forms deep connections with her families and their children. Ms. Rivera is the ideal person to be our entranceway for our students as they enter Lancaster as kindergarten students. Congratulations, Amy. That is all of them. Thank goodness we have a big group today.
Yeah, that is amazing. Karen, Andy, Sandy, thank you so much for presenting those 10-year recipients. I wish we could have done this in person so I could have shook hands with each of you, presented your certificate, but we will get those certificates out there. You guys are amazing. Your why Lancaster is legendary. So thank you all again. Moving on to 6.0, approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the regular session minutes from September 14th, 2020? That's 6.1.
So moved. Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion carries.
Mr. Sage, just 5.0 was correspondence, and there was none, and I think that's why you skipped over it, but just wanted to let you know.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much, Dr. Valley. 5.0 is correspondence. Did any one of the board members have any correspondence they want to talk about? Nope. All right. Thank you, Dr. Valley, for picking that up. 7.0, items from staff organizations. Is there anyone here from the Lancaster Administrative and Supervisory Association?
Yes, again, on behalf of LASA, we'd like to congratulate all of our teachers and staff who are granted tenure tonight, and to thank you to the Board of Education for everything, your commitment you've done for the children, our staff, and our community. So thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bull. All right. Anyone from the Lancaster Central Teachers Association?
Yep. Good evening. Just wanted to echo Ms. Bull's comments with regards to congratulating and thanking the Board of Education for their hard work. I've said this in the past, and I will continue to say it, that you folks do a very difficult job and you receive no pay for it. You are the last bastion of volunteer work for the community. We also want to take a moment and congratulate all of our newly tenured teachers. If you can get tenure during a pandemic, you know you can pretty much accomplish anything. And then lastly, I just want to continue to say that the teachers of Lancaster are still continuing to do their work and do their jobs to the best of their abilities to provide a great education for our students, whether they're hybrid or full remote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Abraham. Anyone from the Lancaster Association of Service Personnel? And anyone from the Lancaster Association of Substitute Teachers? All right, moving on to 8.0, board reports. Do any of the board members have any reports?
I just wanted to say thank you for that beautiful video. That was really, really nice. I'm sitting here with tears in my eyes because it's just amazing to see all the kids. Everybody's so happy and happy to be back to school. I know my kids are so happy to be back to school, and I know that you're thanking us this week, but really, I mean, this job, we do it because we have a great team here. Our administration and our teachers are doing all the hard work and all the heavy lifting. So they make us look good, I think. So thank you so much for all the appreciation, but we're just so thankful that we're in such a great district. That's all I wanted to say. Not a real report, just like an opinion piece.
Thank you, Ms. Fisher. I definitely echo that. Anyone else from the board that wants to report? All right, moving on to 9.0, Superintendent's Administrative Report. Dr. Valley?
Yeah, I have a couple of things. First of all, congratulations and thank you to the best Board of Education in New York State. Thank you for your service to our children in the Lancaster community. Congratulations to all those who've been recognized for receiving tenure and those who will be appointed by the Board of Education later on this agenda. Welcome to Lancaster with tenure, a district that's second to none. I think everyone knows we had our first positive case of COVID-19 last Friday, and I wanted to just talk about that for a minute. Two reminders for everyone. Number one, when there's a positive case, the district works in collaboration with, but follows the lead of the Department of Health. They are the governing body when that happens. And number two, the district must protect the privacy of the individuals and not break HIPAA or FERPA, which would be, potential lawsuits and violations of those acts. So while there are some people that want specifics and details, I cannot and will not be talking about the details of Friday's first case. But what I will tell everybody is that since March, I have been times a critic of the Department of Health, some of their decisions, their communication or lack thereof. But now that I've seen the Department of Health in action, I have to give credit where credit is due. Immediately upon relaying the news of a positive case to them, the Department of Health quickly confirmed that there was a positive case and began contact tracing, starting with that individual. That was done in a couple of hours, and the building and district collaborated with the Department of Health and their contact tracers. After the Department of Health completed that first part of the contact tracing, they followed their protocols and guidance and did a second level of outreach and decision making. I communicated to Hillview faculty, and I walked the entire building and visited every single classroom. All students were happy, engaged, and calm. I worked on a letter that went out to the Hillview parents once the Department of Health said that all protocols and contact tracing and the like had been completed and followed. When they gave me the green light, I sent that letter out via our Code Red system, posted it on our website, and submitted to the positive case data to the Department of Health portal that was just recently in the news. We've been submitting that information to the portal daily for about 3 weeks now. And finally, the Department of Health told me that they would contact all individuals that needed to be contacted as to provide further guidance and information. And by dinner time, I checked in with some of those individuals and they had indeed contacted them. So I guess in conclusion, I need to say that the Department of Health, and specifically Dr. Lauren Nicholas, did what they said they were going to do. And they did it, in my opinion, at least with one example, seemed to be precision, expertise, and fidelity. Hopefully we'll not have any more cases and we won't have to have any more experiences. But with Williamsville, Kenton, West Seneca presently all remote, Lancaster Schools is the largest district in Erie County that is providing in-person instruction. So the probability is there, and we all understand that. But I felt it might be important to relay this story and perhaps this inside scoop and an inside look at our first experience. So it might promote or provide some confidence among our faculty, staff, and students and parents who hear the story. They did their job, and we worked collaboratively with them, and it was pretty good. And we learned a lot, and we'll get better. On another note, we have had many boys and girls practicing sports and competing, as well as a number of musical groups, for example, marching band and ensembles who are practicing. I'd like to thank right now Brian Wild and athletic director, who's our athletic director, and Dan DeAngelis, who I affectionately call our music man, AKA performing arts director, for working with me, as well as all the coaches and the music personnel to put the Department of Health protocols in place and to keep our staff and students safe as possible. These teams and groups are practicing daily and competing in new ways, of course, but it has been great for our youngsters and the adults, for that matter, to gain some semblance of normalcy and to get back outside and in those fields and competing in those ways, with the focus on doing what they love to do, but with safety as the #1 priority. As a related item, the district is contracted with a company to provide spectators, parents and grandparents with live stream opportunities. We're at this point waiting for the equipment to be delivered, installed. So it's not imminent. It's weeks, not days, but it is coming. Thanks to the Board of Education again and the Lancaster community for your support. And I think this will ultimately be a nice addition to our programming now and in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Valley. I believe that every single team playing right now has a win already this year. I think field hockey won today, girls soccer won today, boys soccer won the other day. Golf keeps winning. It's going to be a good year. Thank you, Dr. Valley. All right, 10.0, old business. Does anybody have any old business to discuss? All right, on to new business, 11.0. 11.1, personnel items, 11.1.1. These are the personnel changes. This includes the changes we got via email today. Do I have a motion to approve the personnel changes?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Anyone against? Motion carries. 11.2, education items, 11.2.1. Do I have a motion on the Committee on Special Education?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone against? Motion carries. 11.2.2, the committee, do I have a motion on the Committee on Preschool Special Education?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone against? Motion carries. On to 12.0, business and financial items. 12.1, do I have a motion to approve the financial items?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion carries. 12.2, for food service monthly reports. Do I have a motion to approve August 2020?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion carries. 12.3, construction change orders. Do I have a motion?
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion carries. 12.4 is a tax certiorari. Do I have a motion for the tax certiorari for Lancaster Commons Apartments?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone against? Motion carries. 12.5, do I have a motion for the tax certiorari for Interwest Holdings LLC?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion carries. 12.6, do I have a motion for the contract with Jonathan Rizzo?
So moved. Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone against? Motion carries. 12.7 is an amended contract. Do I have a motion for the amended contract with Beth Farrar?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion carries. 12.8, do I have a motion for the contract with Sarah Meredith?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? All right, motion carries. 12.9, do I have a motion for the surplus books?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone against? All right, motion carries. 12.10, do I have a motion for the contract with SJV Services, Inc.?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion carries. And 12.11, do I have a motion to approve the contract with Carolyn Loken?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? All right, motion carries. 13.0 is public hearing. We do not have anyone signed up for the public hearing tonight. And 14.0 is executive session. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion carries. All right, so that effectively ends our meeting tonight. We will go into executive session. Our next meeting is a regular session meeting, November 2nd, 2020. We will push out details on how to join that meeting. And I want to thank everyone for joining tonight, especially all the teachers that received tenure tonight. We really appreciate you. Have a great day.
Congrats again, everybody.
Congratulations.
Job.
Thank you.